DeepSeek just dropped their own custom harness and it's skyrocketed to 150,000 stars on GitHub. That is a lot of OpenClaw instances. It's open source and MIT licensed, so if you want to fork the repo just to tell everyone you work in AI, then you can do that right now. And the plugin system for this is insane, letting you customize literally anything you can imagine. So let's download the old boy and see how it runs. So DeepSeek, no wait, the one with the blue whale mascot, are killing it right now. They've just dropped V4 Pro, which is sitting with the top models at a fraction of the cost. You can see it matches GLM 5.2 on intelligence, but comes in slightly cheaper, and it's not far off Opus considering the absolute insane price difference. And now they're dropping their own custom harness. It's built on top of Cordis kernel, and if you've never heard of that before, then no worries, it's very well explained on the GitHub page, a meta framework of spatio-temporal compatibility. Obviously, it just rolls off the tongue. And Cordis isn't something DeepSeek knocked together for this. It's been sat on GitHub since 2022. So they've taken a plugin framework that already existed and built a whole harness on top of it. Because literally every agent capability inside DeepSeek harness is a plugin, meaning it's highly customizable and while spatio-temporally composable. But it's actually pretty cool. Literally everything from the models, the tools, the skills, and everything else listed here are all provided via plugins from Cordis, which means you can just turn the most core pieces of functionality off and completely lobotomize the application. And because the model itself is just a plugin, you're not even tied to DeepSeek's own models. Their docs walk you through adding Anthropic, OpenAI, Bedrock, or any OpenAI compatible endpoint you've got lying around. Their own config example even has Claude Sonnet 4.5 sat in it. They even say developers can select, swap, or extend any capability in configuration without changing the DeepSeek harness source code. And we are going to touch on plugins much more deeply in just a second. But this next feature I really love, and it's traceability built in. This is an append-only log that records everything the model sees, including system prompts, reasoning, and tool calls. So you can see a full history of absolutely everything. We're here inside the DeepSeek harness, and in this case, I'm using the desktop app. At the top here, we've got chat and trajectory. If I click into this, I can see a full history of everything that's happened in this entire conversation. I can also highlight areas as well if I want to zoom in on a particular section. We can also search up here for any words that were mentioned. This also covers the entire conversation, the tool calls, the thinking steps. So let's click on this one, for example. You can see this took 187 tokens. The reasoning was 94 of those tokens. And I can also click into the thinking steps to see all of the model's thinking. And we can do this for every single part of the conversation. So that is pretty powerful. Now let's jump back over to the plugin system because this is the biggest feature of the entire harness in my opinion. And if you do want to develop your own plugins, you can easily do that within the harness itself. We're given multiple runtime modes for this. Standard mode includes the full toolset and you'd want to use this on your day-to-day engineering tasks, but creator mode gives you extra capabilities to inspect and author plugins. So you don't have to leave the DeepSeek harness at all to customize it. So let's take a look at customizing this ourselves. So to add a new plugin inside chat, I've sent an initial message, add a new plugin to add a dinosaur jumping game in the bottom right of the application. I'm in creator mode here, so it has access to all of the tools to be able to execute this. And the result is that we get this cool little dinosaur in the bottom right. I can click it and now we can start playing a game. Nice. Wait. Yes, boy. So basically any functionality that you want to add to the application can all be done through a prompt. So DeepSeek can add plugins to its own harness. They also provide a bunch of examples on their marketing site, like adding a floating whale or a snake game. And this is genuinely one of the coolest features I've ever seen inside a harness. OpenCode also provides similar customization through prompting, but the user experience here and the level of customization all through plugins is really, really smooth. And because the whole thing is open source, people have really been running with this. Within a few days of the repo going up, there's a desktop app, which is actually the thing I'm using right now, a Claude Code style TUI, and a pack of web UI skins, and an awesome list, none of which are actually built by DeepSeek themselves. The desktop app is on 11,000 stars by itself. If we look inside settings as well, you see I have plugins here. We've got a massive plugins list. So literally everything, the LLM, the sessions, the API gateway, the agents themselves are all provided through plugins. So you can change this application in any way you could possibly imagine, all through a single interface. But other than that, you get all of the standard functionality that you would expect from a harness, but again, all provided through plugins. You can send chat messages, call tools, interact with code on your own machine. So anything that you could basically do in Claude Code, you can also do in the DeepSeek harness. But look, this is so extensible. I can just see it being an extremely powerful tool. It's in beta right now, so there are a few problems with it, but that's expected. But I can really see this growing into something special within the next 12 months. I've left a link to the repo down in the description. You can check it out there. And if you want to check out another harness, I've covered QM from Y Combinator a couple of weeks back. Otherwise, go and check out DeepSeek and maybe try and author some plugins. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Warren from BetterStack, and I'll see you in the next one.